Okay, obvious it's MC Bomber, I just don't know where to present it. Or I can like present this. Me with a tiger, Glen Elk. I don't know where I'm supposed to present this. Yeah, it's not that either. The kid had hit its payback date. No way to pay up. I start screaming, I won $500,000, he got lucky. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. $500,000. I don't know what the game wants me to do. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair, who else could I mean? If she hadn't gone in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. Alright. Ask about how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? You were there or what? I'm talking about the cash! I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. Wait a minute. Before the waitress got in the way? As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness! You will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no reason to kill the guy. Alright, so now that I unlock this, now I present MC Bomber? I don't know why I need to press that before I present this. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elk owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elk, I don't believe the $100,000 is really what you were after.
Objection.
What are you getting at, Wright? Wait, you don't need to object to ask that. What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of His Honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million! Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection.
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. How much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million! A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elk's life to pay your debt. Which... Okay, look. But he didn't need to kill him, because Glen Elk was prepared to give him MC Bomber to wipe out the $100,000 debt. So he didn't need to kill him. He killed Glen Elk for no reason, because he was already gonna get it. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. Oh. Then he won the lottery and then he wasn't gonna give him the CD? The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly! At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. That's so stupid. At least, no legitimate way. I mean, if I were Glenn, I would have, like, sold MC Bomber anyway and just kept the $500,000. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy! He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. Then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. They don't need to do that. They don't need to establish a witness. They didn't need the witness, because even if the old man wasn't there, what are they gonna do? Like, what was Maggie gonna do? They didn't need to do this. They didn't need to do any of this. Right? The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Yeah, no, there's no need for them to set this up. Like, this is completely unnecessary. Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. I mean, they could, if people were really stupid, which they are. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. No, he was in on it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Yeah. Order! Silence or I'll clear the courtroom. You put on a good show, Spiky. I mean, you keep calling me Spiky, but look at yourself. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you have to be careful. You saying I dressed up like the kid, created a witness, and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I mean, you did. I'm not dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. You did leave a trail as bright as your shirt. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Oh, he pretended to be me. Do I present this? Or do I present this? I present this, right? And what's the relevance of that, Trite? Okay, it's just a little intro. Wait, what's he talking about? An intro into what? It seems all this has been an elaborate trick on the part of the defense. Yeah, no, okay. I mean, again, adventure game problems. He pretended to be me, which this is the same thing as this, right? Anyway. What on earth is that? Like, why does one work but not the other? Right? It's both the same thing. With like both items talk about him pretending to be me. But you present one, it works. You present the other, it doesn't work. What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigray, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court you posed as me! What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen. Grr. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Gulp. Hey. Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You've made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Wright, here in court, we deal with people's lives! Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor! Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now, however. I preside over this court as the judge with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will not excuse the witness. This is so stupid. Hold on, what do I have? 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 The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigray are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. Are you high? But we've come so far! You say he impersonated Glen Elk, you say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ah! We can call Violetta in here. Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled, you got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigray. Viola's gonna turn up. No? Yeah. Your Honor, sir. Oh no, Gumshoe's gonna turn up. I thought Viola's gonna turn up, and people are gonna start getting cut. Wait! Detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this, my badge, the works! So here it is, my heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence! It's overly dramatic. Nutty! Overly dramatic. January 8th, 2:48 PM, District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. I think you're a hack detective. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. The Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright. That's great, we've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen L's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. You don't actually need proof that he put poison into the coffee himself, because like that's the bar for proof is not actually that high. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Yes, you are. You're a real loser. Detective Gumshoe. Maggie! You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry! I'll get off your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Small bottle put into pocket. The victim's ear medicine covered in Furio Tigre's fingerprints. January 8th, 3:04 PM, District Court, courtroom number 4! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I haven't been to no court before. But you lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court! Okay, look. Deadly powdery poison bears Maggie's fingerprints found in an apron pocket. The victim's ear medicine covered in Furio Tigre's fingerprints. Why would that be covered in his fingerprints? Did he like pull it out looking for the lottery ticket? This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's? Your Honor! Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Yeah, good question. Good question. Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man, one person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. Oh, the tiger doesn't know what's in it? The tiger doesn't know what's in it, and we're gonna bluff him into confessing. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains potassium cyanide. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide. The poison used to murder Mr. Elk, Your Honor. Yet the victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? LeMayo, you'd make a good clown, you know that. What? You're never gonna get this to stick. You're just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see right through you, Phoenix Wright. That's not the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle we found traces of poison in. Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and it was made of glass. Good bluff. Good bluff. So you prove that he knows where the cyanide is. Does that actually stand up in court? That doesn't actually stand up in court though, does it? Is that legal? I don't think that's legal. I don't think you're allowed to do that. Anyway, he just admitted that he knows where the cyanide bottle was. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. I don't think that's actually allowed. Got him! At last! What? Why is everyone going quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle with the cyanide was in. The bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said? What I just said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Grr. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You don't know who you're messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. Oh, millions. Millions of dollars. A whole million, tiger. You control millions of dollars. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve! The phony trial with the phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Grr. I don't think that's allowed, actually. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done, Wright. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Is that... I don't think that's allowed in court? Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godot? He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. I don't think this is how it works. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot! Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty! Yay! Confetti. That is all. This court is adjourned! January 8th, 4:10 PM. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1! Mr. Wright! Okay, I'm gonna save here. I think I have to give her the lunchbox here. Hold on though. I'm at a loss for words! Thank you, sir! Congratulations, Maggie! I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. That wasn't me. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie, that was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Right, bye. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well. I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective! He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. That sounds kinky. It's thanks to him that we got the medicine bottle. That wasn't even of any use! But... it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. I mean, he was. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Here you can have some weenies. Weenies! Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe made with a ton of love. And weenies. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know. I'm sure you love weenies, Bird. I'm sure you love weenies, Maggie. You love multiple weenies at the same time, don't you? Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Yeah, go on, eat your weenies. So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. I mean, these cases are getting crazier and crazier. The false allegations surrounding Maggie, oh, I didn't read it. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Alright, that's it for episode 3. One last episode to end the trilogy. Actually, no, what's that? Hold on. Wait, there's one more? Let me look at the walkthrough. Oh, there's like a mini... Okay, this one is brief. And then there's a big long one. Alright, let's save this here. See you next time. The next time is like